Hi, everyone. Let me welcome you on behalf of my team and A to Z Filter to our virtual pitch from Okanagan area. Hopefully one day I see you guys face to face and have more conversation with you guys. Basically, I want to introduce you my lovely team and passionate individuals to you guys. We have Javier, we have Gavin, we have Ahmed, and myself, Kivan. We are graduates of Civil Engineering Technology from Okanagan College and currently pursuing our degree at UBCO in Civil Engineering as well. Well, in January 2020, AquaHacking introduced us to the challenge, and we started to do some investigation. We found out that a lot of hydrocarbons and oils from vehicles are leaking and finding their way to a catch basin and our stormwater and ending up in our lakes and streams. So we started to do a little bit of research. Unfortunately, there was no filtration at the stormwater outlets, or there's no treatment involved with it. You know, having pollutants and hydrocarbons in water, it's not only Okanagan area's issues, it's actually like a worldwide issue. And thanks to the problems that we faced during the COVID-19, we realized that actually a lot of things that we have, we shouldn't take it for advantage, and food safety and security is one of the things we should be careful about it. As a matter of fact, Interior Health released a report recently that if the proper measures are not taken right now to basically preserving our water sources right now, in the future, it's going to cost us more to upgrade our systems in order to make it potable. So as a matter of fact, Vernon would cost, which is the north of Okanagan Lake, would cost almost $400 million to have that system upgraded. And you might ask, okay, like tourism, and it's one of the attraction point of Okanagan, they're not really involved directly. Well, out of the $1.25 billion of GDP of that generated from Okanagan area, $620 million of it is from tourism. So I don't think that tourists would like to be spending time at the dirty beaches or like restaurants or like orchards or the vineyards that are like around the contaminated lake. Yes, there are some solutions out there, competitors out there, but the cost is very expensive. Average cost is $30,000 plus installation. The sizes are enormous. They don't actually like filter out what is it mixed with the water, and the maintenance and logistic is beyond like what you can imagine sometimes. You know what? We start to do research. What is actually available for? What kind of media is available for filtration system actually? And yes, activated carbon, graphite, they are available, but there's a carbon footprint involved with them, and they're very expensive. And believe it or not, actually, human hair has that adsorption capacity. So absorption is for sponge. Sponge grabs all the chemical and contaminants and water inside of it, but adsorption, which allows the water go through, but contaminants will stick to the media. Hair has more adsorption capacity than activated carbon. So NASA actually has done extensive research about it. They have tested it for reusability and recycling it, and has been used for oil spills, and after its life cycle is done, it actually could be used for oyster mushroom farms, which is a commodity, and also we have abundant amount of it available. As a matter of fact, in Okanagan, Tommy Gunn's Barbershop has partnered up with us to provide the raw material for us. They have 4 branches here. They have 71 branches across Canada. And for sanitizer purpose of it, we just need a UV treatment of it. So based on what media we have available and the design of our kidney inspired by that, we established our prototype in March 2020. We start testing it, and we had an objective for it. We wanted to maximize our filtration of hydrocarbons, maximize efficiency, minimize turbidity, and minimize maintenance. We just need gravity, and it's user-friendly. Each one of the cartridges look like this, replaceable like a printer. It doesn't take a lot of study for it. We send our tests to Caro Analytical. They're a very accreditable lab in Kelowna. They started testing our water before and after, turbidity reduced, hydrocarbons reduced, and we have less than a 2-minute video available. During the question and answer, you can ask for it. We can display it for you guys, and the extensive report is available too. You see here we have before and after picture. As a matter of fact, I told the team I would definitely swim in the water and in the right bucket. I wouldn't really swim in the left one. Now we know what we have. So definitely we have to look at who are our clients. So municipalities, obviously, they're interested in this product. In Okanagan, we have 14, and BC, and then we look at in Canada, and as it increases the number as we go to provincial, national, and international. And then we went to developers. Actually, we reached the private sector. We actually have a testimonial of a developer that's interested in our product. So we say, okay, so now we have, let's look at the number of developers we can work with, and we see the number increases. We go into provincial, national, the other. So based on the needs, we started to design 3 different products, different sizes for municipal, commercial, and residential. And we wanted to make the sizes feasible and our pricing competitive. Why? Because we believe we want to change the world. So rather like really making a lot of profit, we wanted to make it accessible and affordable for everyone. Because in reality, we are a social enterprise too. So based on that, based on these needs, we start to like make a simple financial plan for the first fiscal year. And since we're going to get our own hands dirty, we are civil engineering technologies ourselves, we're going to do a lot of installation ourselves. So generate profit for that. Our expenses for office and just like Microsoft, Amazon, those big companies that start from the garage, we actually start from the garage too. We try to minimize a lot of our costs and increase our production and that. So our timeline is very manageable and basic. So basically, you see, I want to have a pilot project with the city of Kelowna to generate a lot of data, learnings from us, and our sale starting next year, and being at the Buildex and many other arenas to market it and distribute it throughout BC in 2020. The last thing I want to say from the bottom of my heart to you guys, and this is the reality of it, is our liability is not even to ourselves. It is also to the generation to come. And if you don't act quickly, we will face the consequences of our action in short term and long term. So by investing in A to Z filter, which uses a renewable and environmentally friendly filtration media, you are going to be the shareholders of a sustainable and innovative enterprise. So thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to your questions.
Thank you, Kevin and Team Elite, and right on the 7-minute mark. So we will start our 10 minutes of judge questions.
Right.
Can I jump in? I'm curious. I love the idea of the hair, but once you soak it in oil, how do you remove the oil or treat the hair with the oil so it's not a hazardous waste?
The first option is we could use centrifugal forces. So basically spin it and this oil will come out. Or we could actually use the oily hair, and you reuse it and put it into something like oyster mushroom farms. Oyster mushrooms actually feed off hydrocarbons in the oil, and they significantly decrease it, and they're good for growing it. So those are the options.
If you watch.
Great presentation. So just the unit itself, I'm just talking the municipal version, not the residential or commercial. Does it work with the existing infrastructure that municipalities have, and how easy it is to integrate to that?
Yeah, so the way that our system would work is it would be implemented at a retention pond. So after the development, wherever the catchment is, we would actually put it at a retention pond before it actually went into the retention pond. Otherwise, the second option was to actually, where it would connect to the city main, we would put our system there.
So for a city like Kelowna, it's not the $9,600 spend. What would they have to spend to get your solution in that covers the whole city?
Okay, so in the city of Kelowna, basically out of that $9,600, there's a few things we have to start collaborating. One thing is that because there's no treatment right now involved in any of the storm outlets, we need to really get their land space involved, because our size, the biggest size that we have for municipal is our biggest size for municipal size. So the city of Kelowna, we just have to like work to the maintenance of it, which is every 6 months or it's annually, depending on the flow rates coming to the filtration system.
Hi, question regarding your partnership with the city of Kelowna. Is this, are you talking with them currently? Do you have interest? And also in the review that you prepared for us, you had a letter, or I think it was a review from Victor Projects Ltd. that was interested in your solution. How close is this to an actual pilot?
So basically, we had a great conversation with the developer at City of Kelowna, as you mentioned. We went and visited the site. We demonstrated our prototype actually, and it was very interesting that as soon as the idea was pitched and how low maintenance and it doesn't require a lot of logistics such as electricity or anything, immediately we got the response, and that kind of gave us an indication that we can go on private sector too. So rather than municipality, that private sector is the interest. So these guys were introduced to us by our mentor. So we went to a job site and just had a discussion with them.
Okay, and regarding the city of Kelowna, have you been talking to municipal people over there?
Yes, we have started a conversation. We were actually going to meet them face to face. Due to the COVID, we just like having obstacle with having meeting people face to face, because our prototype is actually a physical entity. And when people actually see it, how it works live, just like the video I mentioned, that we should have been like presented to you guys,
Mm-hmm.
but like it actually changes a lot of people's perception, because our waste product is not going to be taking any landfill, because a lot of times City of Kelowna talks about the maintenance, the landfill, and all these things. But actually, our prototype, as I mentioned, this is the cartridge for prototype. It's something simple that they can handle.
All right, thanks. Last question. On your $9,600 per unit, what's your estimated profit?
So actually, our cost, and the reason that everyone's shocked about the pricing of it is because we have construction background and we can start manufacturing it ourselves. We are saving a lot of labor costs and manufacturing, and our cost was multiplied by 60% profit, because as we said, we don't want to be greedy. Otherwise, it would be non-affordable. It was mentioned by one of the judges that a lot of municipalities are broke; they don't have money to invest, and we just faced COVID, and that budget is getting reduced and reduced.
Thank you.
So I'd like to talk to you about your raw materials and how you get that, because I know if it's similar to kind of the collecting organic waste, home recycling, organics, home compost stuff, and it's really hard to organize those things and to get people to do it. And so I didn't see a clear sense from your materials what that's going to cost you, and how are you going to actually get all of those raw materials in a consistent way?
That's a very good question, actually. Yeah. So we're going to be providing barbershops with a recycle bin with our logo on it, and that itself, and we have indicated to them that any hair bigger than 1 inch would be deposited. We're not going to cause any obstacle in their operation, and it would be collected on a weekly and bi-weekly basis, and it would be stored and UV treated before being handled, like for sanitation purposes. So we have already started our communication and finding many, like we have already right now, like other than Tommy Guns, 2 other barbershops willing to participate, and we have the testimonies here too to participate in our program.
So just to follow up on that, so you're actually conceiving of creating bins, going around to all the hair shops, they put it in there, you pick it up once every however frequently, and your costs, your profit margins currently include all the costs of all that collection?
Yes, because they're not charging us for anything for the hair. They were actually so supportive that they were willing to like do it. And each bin that we're designing, it's not going to be a fancy bin. It's actually like just a normal bin that you see in a dollar store with a cap. So you just open and close. We're not going to make things complicated for anyone that it would cause an obstacle. Because as soon as things become complicated, a lot of people have hesitation towards participating in this program.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I pick up on that point. One of the challenges often with reusing any waste material, actually walnut shell filters, for example, are a competing product. It's supply and demand, and if you've done I'd love to know if you've done a mass balance on the total amount of hydrocarbons, the total amount of filters, and the total amount of hairdressers. And a technical point on the ultraviolet disinfection. I imagine that getting the product to the point where it's sanitized and suitable is important. And UV light works when the light hits whatever it is it's disinfecting. It strikes me as you've got a lot of surface area there, and I'm wondering how you got on with trying to ensure that the UV light made contact with every surface area of the hair.
That's a very valid point, and like inspired again. Like COVID really helped us a lot of things about disinfection and everything too. And this UV light is inspired from the COVID scenarios too. The design that we actually try to create is a belt, is a transparent screening belt that has a UV light on the above and below too. That when the hair is on the belt, all the small hairs are screened and then they can go through. So it would be like a chamber of UV that goes through. And some of the shopping centers, they have implemented something similar to that, so you can put your merchandise and go through a tunnel.
Thank you.
So I have one quick question then. I think you're one of a number of teams that in your financial presentation, and I couldn't see it because you went by it quickly, but if I recall from your materials, you don't pay yourself any wages for some time. Am I correct in that? And if I am, can you explain how you survive
Yes.
during the time period?
This is a financial plan for the first fiscal years, and you're absolutely right about not paying ourselves, because we thought about, like, instead of paying ourselves, we could use the money and reinvest in the business and expand our business. And we are currently our students at UBCO, as I mentioned. We have 2 more years of studies. We have people have shown interest to us in investment, and obviously we want to like constantly put money into the business and trying to bank on the investors. And already we have actually an individual reached us and said, like, we are willing to help you and sponsor you in any manner we can.
So you have an investor already?
About 30 seconds left.
Potential investors, yes, yeah.
Your team, you show a CMO, a CTO, and some other execs. The CMO, is that engineer that's taken the CMO role, or that's the marketing person?
It's one of our team members actually taking it, but again, in collaboration. He's unfortunately, because of some work emergency, he had to go to Northern Alberta, but he's right now listening to us. But the fact is, he's working in collaboration with our mentors and other individuals that are expert in this matter.